try and do the thumbnail early, shall we? That better work as a thumbnail, otherwise I'll be so annoyed. Hi, so you may have noticed that we're back in the new location. By new location, it's an old location, my parents' house. I am also losing my voice because I'm sick, but I really wanted to film this book haul. I have almost 20 books to show you. I think there's 17 here, and I just really wanted to show you. So we're doing this. We're doing this book haul. This book haul will be in no particular order. Well, in fact, it is in a particular order, and that particular order is smallest book to largest book because that's how I have them currently sitting. But some of these I bought earlier than others. There's no real particular method to the madness of anything else, but yeah, so we'll start with the small books and we'll get to the humongous books later because they're huge. So first off, I bought Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld. This is the new Scott Westerfeld. I haven't actually read any others, but nearly all his books appeal to me a lot. I think I've read a short story from him before. Did he have a short story in the Zombies vs. Unicorns compilation thing that Justine Labalestia put together? I think so. I can't see why not, seeing as they are married and on that note, I have a Justine Labalestia book in this haul, but we'll get to that later. So this is a book following two plot lines. The first one being this fantasy, I think it's fantasy, urban fantasy, paranormal world. I don't know that much about that story, but then it also follows Darcy, who is okay, so Lizzie is the character in the fictional world. Darcy is the other character, and she is writing this story, and it goes into the ins and outs of publishing and stuff like that, is what I've heard. And it's thick. It is very thick. It is, what, almost 600 pages, but it looks amazing, and I am very excited to see this one, because let's be honest, it is kind of two books in one. So I am very keen. Then next I have The Way of Kings Part 1, which is Book 1 of the Stormlight Archive Part 1. I don't have Part 2 here today. I haven't bought it yet. I intend to, but they didn't have it at the bookstore, so I'm not in a big rush. I'm not going to get to this anytime soon, I don't think. I'll get to it soonish. It's on my more urgent pile, but I've got lots of things that'll come before it, so I'm not too worried about picking up the second part. Especially seeing as I've now decided I'll purchase all these in this small format, so I have to wait till the next one comes down to small format to keep reading past part 2, unless I get impatient and just buy it in big, I don't know. But this is by Brandon Sanderson, because I don't think I said that, and is part of a huge, I think it's 9-book series or something like that. I don't know that much about the plot, to be honest, because fantasy. Let's have half a look at the back, because I've been told a lot about this, but I can't really remember any of it. I know a lot of people who are big fantasy readers that absolutely adore this and have wanted me to read this for a long, long time. So I'm excited to finally have this on my shelf, and I really want to get around to it because it looks amazing. I'm pretty sure Brandon Sanderson is kind of famed for his world building and magical magic systems. So the best parts of a fantasy, let's be honest. So I'm really excited for this. Then next I have Hexed by Michelle Chris, which is a witch novel that I've heard a lot of people talking about. Unfortunately, here we only have the paperback, which is nowhere near as... It has the same front, but the actual book, not the dust jacket of the hardcover, looked really beautiful, but I don't think the paperback here, so I just went with it. And this is essentially like a kind of paranormal witch book, I'm pretty sure. And I've heard absolutely wonderful things about it, and I'm so excited because witches. I have gone through my witch phases before, and I'm really excited to get back into them because I love that. Then next we have another witch novel, which is Half Bad by Sally Green, and this follows a boy who is part good witch, part bad witch, white witch and black witch. I think they're whites and blacks, is that the idea? I don't know, there's no blurb in here. I don't know, it doesn't say. White witches, yes, and black witches. I really love this cover. It is so pretty, and I've heard great things about this book, so I'm really excited to read it. I just like white and black. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it. Then next we have Four, a Divergent Collection by Veronica Roth. I don't know why I said a Divergent Collection. I've just been calling it Four. This is a collection of short stories told from Four's point of view throughout Divergent, I think. I just read this. I liked it. Check my Goodreads review for a bit more information, but I will talk about this much more in my wrap up. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. I've got the matching cover to go with my books of Divergent, and Divergent from Four's perspective. That's it. That's really it, isn't it? Yeah. Then next, I bought The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. You will have seen this recently in some of my library book videos, but I did say that this was so good that I needed to go out and buy it for myself, which I have done. So I've already read this, loved it. This is a over an apocalypse novel. So worth it. Pick it up, read it. It is thick, but it is so good. I read this really quickly, and I loved it. And so because of that, I also picked up The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. I've heard more mixed things about this one, but I'm interested to read it myself. I have heard it has a bit of second book syndrome, but we'll see how it goes. I'm never one to judge before I've read, so I'll be interested to see what I think of this. And I really want to know what's happening to the characters, so I don't really care. Then next we have Razor Hurst by Justine Labalestia. This is a book set in Australia in Sydney, following the underbelly. I don't really know that much about them. Essentially, they were gang things in the 50s, I think. No, 30s. What am I saying? 30s, not 50s. So there's a lot of history in that area, in Melbourne and in Sydney, and Queensland too, I think, following a lot of gang wars and things in that time. And this follows some girls in the area of Razorhurst, in Surrey Hills, and I'm just really excited because Australian fiction, historical fiction, underbelly, I'm hooked. Okay, I really want to read this. It just looks amazing. The cover is stunning, and the idea of the plot is just great. So I am very keen to read this. I will tell you what I think. People outside of Australia should try and get their hands on this because I think it will be very fun. It is reminding me a bit of a less fantasy but the same kind of idea and setting as it's a similar feel to The Diviners by Libba Bray if you take away the fantasy element. So think that, and yes. Next we have Sinner by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the fourth kind of book in the Wolves of Mercy Falls trilogy. This is a companion standalone novel. Oh, my throat's really dying. I'm sorry. And I think it follows some side characters in a kind of Rochelle Mead style spin-off kind of thing. I've read the first of the Wolves of Mercy Falls, but I can't remember much about it at all. And so I'm excited to reread those and then read this and just Also this cover's really nice. I like it. It fits in with all the others but also stands alone as well, and I like that. Yes. Next I have Elusive by Emily Lloyd Jones. #Jillian made me buy it because she was talking about how much she enjoyed this. I'd been watching, sorry, there's a big bunch of glare there, but I apologise. It doesn't help that I've got plastic on the cover. I'd been watching X-Men, and this is a very X-Men themed idea. Superheroes. I recently read Vicious and loved it. This is another one along the same theme, so I'm really keen to read this because I am loving superhero books at the moment. Yes. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. This follows a band of criminals that are superheroes that have disowned the idea of being a hero and have instead become thieves and kind of underworld criminals, and that is awesome. Really excited to read this. I'm hoping to get to this really soon, because yes. Then next we have the book I'm currently reading, which does not have a plastic cover on it, and I'm very upset because I'm scared I'm going to rip the dust jacket. But this is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, and it is the first in the Remnant Chronicles. I've heard a lot of amazing things about this. It follows a princess who runs away on her wedding day because she doesn't want to get married to this arranged marriage that her parents have decided on. But then she has the prince following her and an assassin that's sent after her to kill her, and romance, but you don't know which one is which, and that's about all I know. But it sounds amazing. I am maybe 50 pages in. Yeah, I'm about 50 pages in and loving it so far. I like how the point of views from different characters are coming in, and I'm really excited to keep reading this because it is so good. So good. So first we have Warp, The Hangman's Revolution by Ian Colfer. This is the second book in the Warp series. I think it's a series, which is the new young middle grade series by Ian Colfer. There's kind of a steampunk, time travel, Victorian time stuff. It is really fun. Definitely middle grade, so you have to take that into account. But this is very fun. I read the first one a couple of months ago and really enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to read this one. I've been waiting for it for a while. And just, so nice. Though I'm a bit annoyed because my copy of the first one is bigger than normal paperback but smaller than a trade paper, and this one is trade paper size. So hopefully they just continue with the big one, and then I have like a normal small and big, not a big small big small big small problem. I don't know. But I'm very excited to read this because a mixture of FBI, crime fighting, and Victorian London. I'm there. I am there. Also, the tagline for the villains is Psycho Warrior Nuns. If that's not a reason to read this book, I don't know what is. Then next we have the biggest book in this haul, which is The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. Look at this. Look at it. It's so big. Wow. This is by David Mitchell, obviously, the author of The Cloud Atlas, which I haven't read, but I own, and I have watched the movie and loved it, and I'm very excited to read it. This is another book which like kind of bends the idea of dimensionality, time, magical realism kind of things, parallel universes. And I think it mentions something about like the tagline on the back kind of talks about the idea of immortality and things like that. So I'm very excited to read this. It is huge, and I'm pretty sure it follows the life of one person from start to end, which would explain its hugeness. And I'm really excited to read this because just like proper literary fiction, when done well, really entertains me. So I want to read this soon. Next we have The Iron Child by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. I was covering up Holly Black's name there. This is the first in the Magisterium series. I think it's a series, yes. It's a middle grade fantasy following this boy who is told he should try at all costs to avoid getting into the Magisterium through the Iron Trial. That's the test to get in. And he's trying to fail, but he doesn't do very well at failing. And it kind of follows his problems from there. And I love Cassie Clare and I love Holly Black, so I'm very excited to see how this goes because, yes. And I've heard great things. Then we have Bones Never Lie by Kathy Reichs. This is the newest, I'm not going to say what number because it's a large one and I'm not certain, book in the Tempe Brennan series. I love these, I do. I love them. I've already kind of half decided that I kind of want something like this to be my field in the future. I'm currently doing forensics and I kind of want to brush into forensic anthropology and do a bit of archaeology and things like that. So I love these because my love of science and my love of crime fiction just combine together so well. And Kathy Reichs does a really good job of portraying the science pretty accurately. And I like that, like it doesn't make claims for science that science can't provide in the forensics field, which is really fun. Not fun, just really good. And the books are really fun. So I'm really excited to get around to this because they're so fast paced and I read them so quickly. And I just, yes. And then we have Clarion by Garth Nix. This is the prequel to the Old Kingdom series trilogy. Lyriel, Sabriel, and Aborson. And I haven't read any of those, but I own them in a big binder. I would have hauled that semi-recently, earlier in the year. And this is the prequel. I've heard numerous good things about this series, and this is brand new. The series hasn't been touched in a long, long time, so I think a lot of people are really excited for this release. And I really want to read this series. I'm very excited to get around to it because, yes, fantasy, cornerstone of like modern fantasy, and just the idea is so beautiful to me. And then the last thing I have to show you today is Raging Heat by Richard Castle. This is the most recent release from the Richard Castle franchise. I will call it that. Oh, I got water on it from my hair because I guess it's not really he's not really, I don't know who is doing the writing for the series, but I'm really excited to see where this one goes. I'm so behind in the TV series. I need to catch up, but I feel like I don't need to have watched the TV series to read the books. I have watched a lot of it, but I haven't watched all of it. And I'm just really excited to read this because I read the last one not too recently. Why, computer, why? I read the last one not too recently and really loved it, so I'm excited to get back in and find out more about what's happening to Nikki Heat because I love it. So those are all the books I bought in the last month or so. I think it's about a month and a half that I've bought all these. It's a lot, I know, but that's what happens when you're living away from home and you come back and buy a big stack of books each time you're home. I'm home now though, so hopefully I won't have to buy books too often in the near future. Thank you for watching this video. Comment down below if there's anything you've read and enjoyed, or anything you think I should read sooner rather than later. And I will be seeing you very shortly with my October wrap up because it's almost the end of the month. Okay, bye.